I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up.
The past is gone. Now's the future.
Whew, what a WrestleMania. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Weekly Review live here on YouTube, our first live episode. As always, my boys Daniel Crimmins and the RWD Ted Deadman Paul Morales. Boys, what a WrestleMania night one.
Yeah, what a WrestleMania day.
What a WrestleMania
God
day.
dang, we had a lot to deal with today. And oh my God, I was listening to Busted Open this morning with our girl Denise Salcedo, La Mera Mera Thunder Rosa, Dave LaGreca, and of course I had my coffee. I posted that on my Twitter, and then next thing I know, I was like, man, I gotta start watching freaking Stand and Deliver. So I guess I multitasked today.
And it did.
It did. It did stand and deliver. I thought every match on that NXT card, first and foremost, Javon Evans, Obafemi, and Trick Williams, holy hell, what a main event. Was I expecting someone to come out like a Jeff Cobb? Maybe. I was, but I got to say, the way that they ended that, Javon Evans with his hope spots and him taking the pin, and Trick Williams with the trick shot, the false finishes, Obafemi is the absolute future of NXT.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, without a doubt, man, that was a banger of a damn match. Beginning to end, dude, they literally went out there pretty much like the main event of WrestleMania, but that one told a little bit longer of a story, but that main event on Stand and Deliver, man, those guys went out, shelled out, balls to the wall.
Go ahead, Daniel.
I'll say this. What that match did, I look at Oba, and people always wonder, well, who's going to be the next Brock, the next beast? It's Obafemi.
It 100% is.
That's all it is, dude. You look at, and even Javon Evans, dude, you got to give that boy some credit. You got to give that boy credit where credit is due, man. They went out, shelled out, and literally the moves, him and Trick, him and Oba, I mean, dude, beginning to end, I mean, that whole match slapped. I loved it, dude. I can run it back again and watch it again.
I look at it from a stance like this. You had that Javon Evans at someone, the young OG at 20 years of age, really showing up and showing out. And I'm going to say this right now. We called it. The women's ladder match was absolutely epic. And Sol Ruca finally getting that NXT Women's North American Championship. Right call. I think that really sets up for more matches with Thea Hale, Azaria. We're going to get a lot of great stuff coming from Sol
All
Ruca.
2 belts.
Yeah, she sold 2 belts. I was just gonna say that. I was gonna say, man, she Becky 2 belts now.
Yes, now with the Speed Championship defeating Candice LeRae on Speed. Hell yeah. I'm loving Solo. I'm loving Sol. Sol Ruca, Solo. I mean, we'll get to Solo in the Mania show, but god dang it, man. The women's ladder match delivered. Stephanie Vaquer, Julia, Jordan Grace, and Jada Parker. Everyone showed up and showed out in that. I like that Stephanie got the win. It keeps us going more with the Stephanie Vaquer-Julia feud, which I'm digging. I think everything on Stand and Deliver, if you guys have not seen, I will say this. Ricky Starks, Ricky Saints. The Tony fumble chants were galore. I think they really proved why Tony missed out on their talents and what we got to see on NXT. Let's get into Ricky Saints and Ethan Page.
I think it's important to note that both those two were under a lot of pressure that they themselves put on themselves, in that both men wanted to show and felt the need to show Tony Khan and others in AEW, like, we told you we could do this, that we had it. And I don't know, I thought it was both men absolutely killed it.
They, again, another 2 set of guys. I know we got the freaking Tony fumbled, chants in the crowd, but at the same time, dude, like, We know Ricky Saint Starks, whatever the hell you want to call him. We know he's a damn star. We knew that in AEW. But man, for him and Ethan to come out and just, put on a clinic and shell out and show out, man, I am proud of both of them that they just literally put AEW in the rearview mirror and went out there and put on the match that they did.
Oh,
now,
absolutely.
The upset of NXT Stand and Deliver. Hank and Tank are the new NXT Tag Team Champions. It fit with the story. They finally beat Nathan Frazer and Axiom. They got it together. I got to say, out of all the tag matches they've had, because these boys have been working hard, this was the best matchup they've ever had in NXT.
Absolutely.
Oh, dude, totally. Okay, which one of us actually thought that they were actually going to put on a great match like that?
Daniel,
that guy over there, because you know
Pretty
what,
sure
I had Fraxium winning again, and if they didn't, they would have ended up on the main roster, which I
believe I said that. I'm
and
pretty
that's
sure
exactly what you look at, man. Look, man, I'm giving you the credit here, man. I am trying to give you all the credit here. Look,
and I'll take it off.
Look, man.
Acknowledge me.
Hey, we're acknowledging. We're putting the ones up. But no, you're correct. I mean, Nathan Frazer and Axiom, like we mentioned on our last show, Nathan Frazer had the great match with Phoenix on SmackDown for his debut. We saw Axiom go against Gunther. So, I mean, those two in the tag division, I mean, I'm going to say it right now. If they go to SmackDown, give me Nathan Frazer and Axiom against DIY, the Motor City Machine Guns. Go ahead.
Monday Night Raw with the New Day.
Okay, I'm for that, since the New Day are now the new World Tag Team Champions. Okay.
Spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert. We'll get to that later on in the show. But, dude.
Don't spoil it!
Well, spoil it. That's the main thing, too. I mean, every match on Stand and Deliver, and I will put this into perspective as well, besides the tag titles, besides Ricky Saints and Ethan Page and the women's and the main event, I got to say, I really also did enjoy the pre-show because we had called Tatum and Gigi Dolan going now against Liv and Raquel, or Lyra Valkyria and her mystery opponent. Let's just put this into fruition. It's going to be Becky for tomorrow night. We know it's going to be Becky, and the two Irish lads are going to go for the tag titles.
Yeah, that's what we're going to get. That's exactly what we're going to get. Hold on.
We know it's going to be Becky. The two Irish lads are going to go for the tag titles.
Sorry, Amir was asking me a question.
Sorry.
He's all like, "Oh, you guys are on," and I was like, "Yeah." I said, so I sent him a video of us talking. So, anyways, but yeah, okay, so yeah. Okay, but yeah, it might be her. That's kind of like where I'm going. And is Bailey legit injured? I mean, I've had so many conflicting stories.
Supposedly, yes, but it was a great way for an angle to take her out. And Bailey is a company girl; she'll do what's needed.
Yeah, she'll do what's best, And we know she had her crowning moment last year, and the thing that got me was Mercedes actually posted about it, and I was like, no, you stay over there. Don't try and throw that out there. No. Bailey,
I won't let you do that.
Bailey's staying where she's at.
But that's the main thing too. And I mean, I look at it like this. So we get the D'Angelo family against Darkstay. Great first pay-per-view for them.
Oh, yeah.
Did we see the turn coming? It's been teased for weeks. And I think once he hugged him on NXT, do you like the fact that we now have Luca Crucifino going to meet up with Stax? Do we see the rest of the D'Angelo family turn on Tony D? What do you guys think?
I think you do.
Okay.
And as I said it on our last show, which if you have not seen it yet, check it out on Mike's YouTube channel.
Check it out.
Number one. I believe, I said it's time to put Tony D on the main roster. He's ready. He's been ready for a while now. I think, SmackDown would be perfect for him.
I mean, he has the character. He has the talent. There's so many people that he could work with. But
LA Knight.
LA Knight and Tony D. Okay, you just put that.
Promos would be gold.
Oh, between the two of them with the characters and just how both use charisma? Fuck yeah.
Oh, man. Those two could probably put on could probably put on a really, really good match. We already know Tony can go.
Oh, wow.
It was kind of weird. Like if you watch the match, you could see the little cracks in everything that was going on. You could see that Stacks got tagged in. You could see Tony D that was just standing there on the outside, and he was looking at him like really, like, all right. And then when he wasn't like reaching for the tag, when Stacks was coming in to give the tag, Tony D is just like, all right, I'm standing here. Finally, you see him just reach his hand out just enough where he can, crawl up and hit him, tag him in. You see those cracks, and you wonder to yourself, how much longer will this be going on?
Yeah.
I think I liked how they were like, so he was so stone-faced, and then you get to the end, and he hits Sugars with the crowbar, and then you think, okay, everything's cool, and then he puts the crowbar down, then he kicks him right in the ding-ding, and then there's the turn. It set it up perfectly.
And I honestly, there was a period where I thought, well, maybe Tony D's going to be the one to turn.
Yeah, but I was thinking that too. There were some cracks there too, but yeah, I think it's perfect for Stacks to move on, and he can do his thing. Maybe Tony brings in his own family, so I don't know. I'm curious.
Get a mob war.
Get a mob war. Okay. All right. Either way, I'm looking forward to it, man. Like, I got to say, this afternoon was a great start to WrestleMania weekend. Now, we have to say it. There was a tears and a lot of our eyes over 1 hour plus of a Hall of Fame speech. Triple H, I'm going to say it right now, hands down, that was the best Hall of Fame speech ever.
Ever. And like he mentioned, he's pretty sure that Mr. T is still going on, talking about his mama, talking about how wonderful she is. And he's like, God blessed his mother. I'm pretty sure she's this wonderful woman. Of course, that was a crack joke that, the longest Hall of Fame speeches of all time. He threw it out there that, his is now the record for longest speech at over an hour. Were we really expecting him to go out there and just say a few things and then just kind of like, okay, show's over, okay, time to go party?
No.
I didn't think it was going to be an hour. I thought he'd do a little bit of time, but an hour is like, okay then.
But I think with the introduction of Sean and Paul, who is Paul? Like, everything with Sean and the stories that they told, they got to talk some Click stories. They really got to hone in on everything that makes up Triple H's career and everything that really represents his life in professional wrestling. The Killer Kowalski mentioned everything. I mean, he did touch on Vince, which how could you not?
I thought he did it very tastefully, very tactfully.
And even he acknowledged the fact that it's a very, very, yeah, it's a delicate conversation. So subject. So he did mention him being his father-in-law.
His kid's grandpa.
Yeah, his kid's grandfather. Mentioned about sitting in on production meetings and whatnot. That's kind of how we started. I can tell you the one that got me, and I heard somebody in the audience mention Hall of Fame. They mentioned Joni.
He said, "Damn straight."
He said, "Damn straight." So if I'm a betting man, she's going in either in the next couple of years, because I would like to see him do it. She has her family running her Twitter page. They're still voting, trying to get her in the Hall of Fame as an individual, not so much of a part of DX, even though she's already in their part of DX, but they want an individual one.
And she should. I think
very well deserved.
I think it's different now with TKO and Endeavor and all that. I think it's different then. When it was just WWE and, they were, more family friendly, which based on, Mania Night 1 and NXT, that was not PG, fella.
Oh, no, not at all.
There was, we heard Charlotte drop a number of F-bombs, which were clearly audible. But I digress. There was always that fear, and Triple H mentioned it. I think he mentioned it on the Stone Cold podcast.
It was like 10 years ago, 11 years ago.
Where he mentioned that China's Joni, her career as an adult film star. And
Yeah.
he said it is difficult to do that.
If
Which
look, there's
at that
gonna be a point in time where Sean Waltman goes in, and we could do the exact same thing and say, look at what he did. You know, he did porn for a while. Sean was in Playgirl, you know, a couple of times. You know, we can go up, up, up and down all the people who are probably going to end up in the Hall of Fame. Candace Michelle would be one that was already in there. Sable was already in Playboy. Tori Wilson, again, somebody else who was also in Playboy.
Yep.
You know, we can go up and down. I mean, I would love to have more women inducted one year than to have more than men.
Absolutely.
Because there are so many. Victoria, Lisa Marie Verone. We know
Miss Elizabeth.
Miss Elizabeth is very well deserving of being in there. And I would love to see Lex Luger be the one to induct her. I would love it. And
Celebrity wing, you could put Cyndi Lauper in.
Yeah, and there, dude, we could sit here. We could do a whole episode of how many women that we believe can go in there right now. Even Stephanie could be another one at some point in time. She doesn't have to do it right now, but I mean, at some point in time, within the next 10 years, we can put a lot of those women that we just mentioned in the Hall of Fame.
Which that will be a topic for Uncaged on our next season, which you can find out right here on Mike's YouTube channel, Cheap Pop.
Number 2. Now, I have to add on to this. I got to say, besides getting emotional at that, I think we started off very much emotional. Man, Lex Luger got out of that chair, and he spoke, talking about getting saved, talking about his career, and being more appreciative of the wrestling fans now, and really everything that turned his life around. It was very heartwarming and very touching. I enjoyed the speech.
And Walmart.
I think I would have loved. I would have liked to have had seen more interviews with Sting. I know that there were a couple that, you know, made the cut, you know, on that video, but I would have loved to have had seen more of them talk about them being a tag team, their career in WCW coming up. That would have been a lot better, and even narrated by him. If you didn't want him, you know, if Tony Khan wasn't going to allow him to show up, you know, on stage in WWE, then if interviews and whatnot would have been perfectly fine with me. I would have loved it.
I think that's the beautiful part about this. And I mean, I think for what Lex Luger was accomplishing and really touching upon, and DDP, even his induction speech to get Lex Luger in there was great. And I say the same with Sean, with Triple H. Dude, I got to say this as well. What also was very nice, I mean, Michelle McCool paid homage to Lay Cool. She paid homage to the women coming up. I thought that was very well done. And people could say what they will. Oh, she's just in there because the Undertaker's wife and that. No, like, she was the first ever Divas champion against Natalya. She was a huge part of that era. We mentioned Lay Cool. But Michelle McCool started from the Diva search in 2004 and being the rookie Diva competitions to where she progressed in success on her own with both titles. Like, that was a well-deserved speech and a well-deserved honor.
I liked how she basically how she said, "You are enough."
Yeah,
you know, and that's something that as adults we all struggle with that, and more so even kids. You know, that is something that, you know, young kids, you know, young girls deal with that. You know, they deal with knowing, you know, am I going to be enough? You know, and we've all, Paul, Mike, me, we've all dealt with wondering, am I enough? Am I, you know, enough for this person, for that person? So that was perfect. That was absolutely perfect. It was a good speech. And she still looks ring ready. Like, she looks like she could, you know, put her gear on tomorrow and get in the ring.
She referenced it. She told Layla, you know, maybe we could run it back and go do, you know, go make a run for this. You know, we never know. Evolution.
Undertaker, no.
If they're gonna do Evolution, yes, please, no. Not my boy up there.
Not 60-year-old Mark Calloway. No, that's okay.
No. And it's funny how he referred to himself like tonight. He's not Taker. He's not the dead man. No, I'm just Mark tonight.
I love that. I think what we got from that was just humbleness, and much like I said, every speech was great on this. I will say this as well. I love seeing Dory Funk Sr., Kamala, and I love seeing Ivan Koloff go in. They showcase their families. The natural disasters, Fred Ottman got me as well on that, talking about Quake and the whole family there. Oh, God, that tugged on my heartstrings.
Tugboat. Tug. I got it.
You know, I'll say it. It's sad that Earthquake John Tenta wasn't there for this. Like, it never occurred to me until this morning. I realized how young he really was.
What, his early 40s, right?
He was like 42 or 43.
Yeah.
Like,
But
he was a couple years older than me.
Yeah.
And to see that, and it's like he was cut down before his prime, and for a big guy, like he could move. Like, Paul, you and I know that time, big guys were primarily used as just lumbering giants.
Right.
But to see John, even post WWE, you see him go into WCW
Shark
as the Shark, dude. Even then, you could still see that athleticism, even for being a big man. I mean, jumping on the ropes, hitting those ropes, doing the splashes, and running the ropes. Not just, hey, I'm going to do a couple stagnant runs, whatever. No, that man ran. And even Fred had mentioned it too, about them being the athletic, types is what they were. And then, into the next generation of wrestlers that we're getting now, the Braun Strowmans, the Jacob Fatus, Bronson Reed. And shout out to him for being in that video, to talk about them, because that was beautifully said. It's great to see stuff like that, especially from the younger generation.
And Earthquake, with his move, he never hurt anybody.
Not at all,
no.
And you look at that finisher, and it would be so easy. Because if you're off by just a little bit, you could seriously hurt somebody, and he never did.
No, and I think what I enjoyed about it too, as well, is besides honoring the family and honoring the moves and the transition and the career of John Tenta, the other career we have to mention, Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin, for that match from WrestleMania 13, that infamous submission match. I enjoyed the speech. I really did. I thought both of them came off well. They really talked about Vince being on commentary and everybody being the presentation of that event. And CM Punk's speech was awesome to induct them into it. What were your thoughts on the first ever Immortal match getting inducted?
I thought it was great. It's you think of all, and Mike, I've been pushing for this for years.
Oh, we've been, as long as I've known you, Dan, you've been like, we got to get a match in there. We got to get a match.
Do matches, and I think this was the perfect match to do it. You think of the importance, and that's an iconic image of Austin and the sharpshooter, wearing the crimson mask and just passing out like that. To me, that is the match that made Stone Cold. Not King of the Ring. That match.
I think King of the Ring was very different. We're not talking about a match. What we're talking specifically is about a promo. That promo made Stone Cold. The match that made Stone Cold who he was this one. I completely get people and their opinions where they say, "Oh, well, you could have chosen any other Stone Cold match." This one specifically was strictly because if you go back and watch it, and which I ended up doing because for the sake of, I just needed to know what that feeling was like again, because I hadn't seen it in years. I have not seen it in at least 15 years. And even when Moses and I used to do the retro rewind and whatnot, I think when we first started it and we started reviewing pay-per-views, I don't think WrestleMania 13 was one of them, but we should have done it strictly for this match in particular, because you go back and you watch it, you watch how great they worked it, how they used the story leading into it, how they used to beat up each other prior to it. And then I love that they gave a shout out to Ken Shamrock, because that man was critical in that match. And then Stone Cold touched on, yeah, he was bigger than all of us, looking a little bit more cut. I don't know why he was in that match. I don't know why they gave him a shirt that was like 2 sizes too small.
I think what I loved about it too is around that integral time period, like UFC was really starting to boom, and we got to see Ken Shamrock in that influx before he would become a full WWF superstar at the time. Worked perfectly. The Steve, do you give up? We talk about representation of your presentation. He represented, he showed up well, and he presented himself well. It worked perfectly.
I think it was the perfect match to do it. And like you said, speeches A1. And I think looking back at, if you were to make a WrestleMania based on best WrestleMania matches, if that's not on your dream card, I don't know.
I do not, but I think that's storytelling at its finest, and that was the beautiful stories that were told within these speeches in the Hall of Fame in itself. And we have a special guest coming in with us. Robert Davis, welcome to the first live of the weekly review on the channel. Hello, good sir.
Hello
gentlemen.
Sir.
We'll pay you.
We'll pay you. Well, speaking of that, where you actually came in at a perfect time, Mr. Robert Davis, before we get into the WrestleMania card and talk about our favorite moments of this fine show, and it's only night one, WWE announced on the Countdown show that they have acquired AAA. And we saw Stephanie Vaquera out there. We saw Mike Kingo, which we'll get into when we get into WrestleMania. But we also saw the LWO, Rey Mysterio, Andrade, and all these many, many names that are focused with luchas and luchadoras. We'll actually start with our special guest here. Roberto, what were your thoughts on the announcement of WWE acquiring AAA?
Things that I did not think would happen this year.
I didn't have it on my bingo card.
I did not. No.
Absolutely not. Not even an inkling of that being a possibility. I had no idea AAA was even for sale. They did during the show. They did show Miss Pena and the people that run AAA. So it's just kind of a shock to hear that AAA is now owned by WWE, because that's just kind of like, holy crap,
wild.
And just I love pettiness. I mean, regardless of what it is, AEW had just announced a couple of days ago that they're doing a conjoint show with CMLL in Arena, Mexico, and then 3 days later, WWE now owns AAA. Like goddamn.
I wish I could have been a fly on the wall in Tony Khan's house right now.
You bald assholes!
Those bald assholes want to purchase AAA. Well, fuck you. We got CMLL.
And
yeah, that's what he's gonna do.
my kind of, because it makes me wonder. And you think back a couple days ago when The Rock posted on Instagram wearing that New Japan shirt
with the Rubik's Cube.
Like, I don't want to read too much into things, but like, it makes me think, like, what was that? Just people are saying, oh, it was just Jeff Cobb. Well, was it? Like, is there something else going on that we don't know about?
Exactly.
Like
Tanahashi versus Cena at Wrestle Kingdom
for the WWE title.
What are we on? 13?
Yes.
Retirement match. Everybody, loser.
Everybody gets their retirement match.
Everybody retires.
Everybody retires.
Well, I think for me too is like you think of like those matchups that you could have with the conjunction there, and I'll say it right now. We mentioned NXT before, Robert. I think you all can agree with me on this. Ethan Page not winning tonight against Ricky Sainz. I can honestly see him winning the TNA World Title and bringing it back to NXT next weekend at Rebellion. So there's so much that you could do with the synergy of the conjunction of everything. And I mean, even that is just like AAA, but we can get it when Worlds collide with NXT. And Worlds Collide. We have Mike Kingo there, which we could set up with Chad Gable sometime as well. Like, there's so much we could really do.
No.
There's
El
one.
Grande Americano.
Oh, I'm sorry, El Grande Americano.
it needs to be stated.
Well, I see why Rob's upset. We'll get to that. Go ahead, dude.
Who is AAA's world champion or mega champion?
Alberto El Patron.
Please no. Please God no.
Can
No.
we please get them to pull a riddle? Because you know Dana White asked for Riddle to be canned. You know he did. You know he said, Vince, do me a solid and get rid of him. I wonder if Triple H went to the Peñas and said, hey, do me a solid. Get him gone.
I mean, guarantee they're going to go through that roster and be like, okay, we don't need you. We don't need you. We don't need you. We'll keep you. We're keeping everybody. Vikingo's the only one staying. Everybody else can go fuck yourself.
And not only did they get the roster, they also are getting the tape library.
Oof.
Which
Nuts.
The potential of AAA Mania being in the United States is also a possibility.
And Worlds Collides in LA.
Hey, by the way, I was just gonna ask it. I was gonna say, hey, by the way, where is Worlds Collide again? Oh yeah,
LA.
It's gonna be at the Forum, Paul.
Hey, Rob.
Should we go?
What are we gonna be doing?
Oh shit. Yeah, we are.
Sorry, guys. You know we got some places
We all got some plans to do for when we get to June.
Okay, so here's the thing: is I saw so many people so pissed off on Twitter about this acquisition and what's going on and what are they doing and why are they trying to acquire stuff from Mexico? Why are they trying to pretty much push aside all that's going on in the world? Let me ask you this specifically: is NXT not its own entity?
Oh, it absolutely is. I mean,
so that means WWE is its own entity.
Yeah.
Why would people not want to say, hey, look, AAA is going to continue to do AAA shit, continue to do what they're doing, business as usual? The only thing is that now they're backed by the money of WWE, of TKO, not WWE, but TKO. So that's beneficial for them as far as them generating and getting money. Triple Mania will be next year, will be huge, and it may be here in the States. We don't know, but even if it's in Mexico, we could still send a lot of the guys that we have on our roster on our roster, like it's my roster, on WWE's roster down there to go wrestle with them. I mean, and cross promotional. We're already going to get Worlds Collide here in LA.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just think it's beneficial for both companies.
Absolutely. I mean,
and it makes them money.
Some of those guys in AAA are phenomenal. Like now they're going to be on a bigger stage. Like
exactly.
Some of these guys deserve that. AAA is already a pretty big production. Anyhow, it's usually in the baseball stadium in Tijuana. It's going to be an even bigger thing now. So I don't see the problem here.
And the other side to this is, like you said, it creates more opportunities. It creates so much more excitement for fans. Production value in AAA is going to go through the roof because they got that money. And I'm excited for the future, and it's...
That also means Pinchy Conan works for WWE again.
White girl number.
God dang that Conan. Over here working for WWE now.
I got to say, I remember
the pickle. It's.
I mean, his speech 2 years ago in Duckton Ray still was absolutely beautiful, and I think Conan, him working with the WWE, and this. I mean, I'll be honest with you, he has said some things about Tony Khan, so I think him being around people like the Shawn Michaels and the Triple H, where they are at now in this life, and how they're doing the creative side of things, I think will work wonders.
Let me ask you guys this. Do you remember a couple years back, I think it was before COVID, the plan that Triple H had was to have NXT Latin America, NXT Europe, and NXT Asia.
And NXT Japan and everything going. Oh yeah, they wanted to do everything.
Yep.
Bingo.
He's already talking about doing NXT Europe later this year. He's gonna be starting soon.
He's gonna buy a promotion there.
I mean, for me, I will say this: like we mentioned,
what do they got left?
you're right. Well, we mentioned when worlds collide. Like for me, NXT's already working with TNA. Now you got the NXT AAA relationship. And for me, I remember pre-COVID when TNA was doing AAA shows in Mexico and they were working together. Like that just brings, like you guys mentioned, more opportunity, more eyes on the product. And I said this, I said it last show and I'll say it now, with what we have with Evolve on Tubi, and they're focusing on guys like that. I mean, you had Swipe Right on NXT against Nathan Fraser and Axiom. That brings eyes over to Evolve to watch it on Tubi every Wednesday because they're creating stories, they're creating the young roster. So it's a win-win for everybody, guys.
I mean, it's gonna eat up a lot of the DVR, but there's a whole lot of wrestling, man.
Oh my God, what is it? Monday Raw, Tuesday NXT, Wednesday Evolve, Thursday Impact, Friday SmackDown, and what else is out there? Wrestling is pretty much on every day, folks.
I mean, you got Dynamite, you got Collusion, you got Battle of the Belts every 4 months, 3 months.
3 months.
It's wild how much
wrestling
there is now.
And then we can not mention all the GCW shows that
exactly.
pop up wherever, and
they're going to be next to get bought out.
MLW is gaining some traction. They had a show here scheduled in the Commerce Casino. The demand was so high they had to move it to a bigger venue in Long Beach.
You'll love to see it.
You absolutely love to see it.
And the other company I forgot to mention in them having these relationships with is TNA. That's another company that they've helped out a lot, because now you're getting more eyes on them. Yeah, they're still on Access TV, every week, but I mean you can pretty much watch it on the TNA Plus app, TNA Plus app for free every week.
I have to add on to your point. I don't mean to cut you off, but here's the beauty of what you just said. You mentioned it many a times of what they did during COVID, Paul. We got Natalia, who did her thing at Bloodsport. Everybody killed it at Bloodsport, and Kira, including the one and only Mr. Karrion Kross. But here's my thing. You have Natalia just going out there, and now she's in a thing with the Crockett Cup, and she got into with NWA Women's Champion Kenzie Page, a relationship with the NWA there. So you're giving more people work, and it's beautiful.
Whatever version of Natalia that was,
give me that on TV.
Put that on TV.
Give me that on TV. And if
what the hell was that?
Come on. Look at the promo that Shayna Baszler and
Zoe Stark cut on Instagram.
Zoe Stark cut. Give me that group. If Natalia's gonna be that badass, give me that Natalia with those two.
Let's go.
That would be fucking pure gold.
Have Natalia lead that group.
New Pure Fusion Collective. They got no Sony anymore, so why not?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Give me more of this Natalia giving the finger and just saying fuck and just going after everybody. I need that on TV. Don't give me, and I love Maxine Dupree, but not this thing that they were doing now. Give me that, Natalia.
Here's what I would do.
Go ahead, Daniel.
I would change the name from Pure Fusion Collective and call it the Foundation.
Hey.
As a nod to the Heart Foundation.
Oh, that would be beautiful.
That's that one's on us, Trips.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You can have that one for free.
Yes. As we give it to
because you went into the Hall of Fame any other time.
The next one's gonna cost you.
Those ball baby. So
yeah, because I ain't getting paid for this, so I figure, Trips.
Oh my God.
Got that big
Triple H started off
F money.
Get your F money. Well, Triple H started WrestleMania with the Welcome to WrestleMania. We got Jelly Roll singing God Bless America. We got a whole lot to talk about with this WrestleMania. Before we get into, of course, Yeet, I do have to mention this. The only matchup, and I'm going to go with Paul ranting because I know he hated the finish. The Viking Raiders retained against the New Day. I enjoyed the match. They did the Bobby Heenan, Rick Rude circa WrestleMania 5 finish with the Intercontinental Championship, with Kofi Kingston holding the leg down of Ivar after the finish, the double team finish, and the New Day are your new World Tag Team Champions for the 12th time, I believe, as they mentioned there. Paul, let you go ahead first because you were not a fan of this finish.
No, I thought it was like so horrible. I understand it, but dude, if you wanna continue with that heat that the New Day is getting without the titles, you could have easily just had the War Raiders, which I thought was a really, really good match. This wasn't like, hey, I'm just gonna just go out there. I don't know if it was just me or it was the crowd. I was excited about it, but the crowd just seemed like they were just like, oh hey, oh hey, oh hey.
So let's be honest with ourselves here. With the start that we got and everybody eating their doggone heads off, like you take the crowd right out after that because everybody was so pumped that Jay won. So they kind of took it down a little bit after the victory from one Jay Uso.
It just seemed like it was like there was no energy, like it was just cold. Even for Naomi and Jade, it wasn't until they started to do more harder hitting with each other and doing what they did. It wasn't until then where we started to hear the crowd, ooh, I would have loved more of that in this match, but man, I thought it was really, really good. I just didn't like the finish. I would have liked to have had seen the War Raiders go over, and even if with all the heel fake finishes or false finishes, I would have loved that. But I still think the War Raiders should have went over. It would have given them I think their first WrestleMania win.
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken. So I would have been so happy for them. Yeah, they got showcased, and yeah, the New Day won their 13th or 12th or 13th, world title. Well, Triple H said 13th, so I'm not going to go against Triple H.
You either count the NXT one or you don't.
Or you don't.
Right? I know, that's what I'm saying. Like but apparently Triple H is counting NXT, so we could say 13.
13, as you should, because that was
13 with an asterisk. I don't know. You figure it out. But I want to know how you guys felt about it.
All right, Rob, go ahead.
You know what? Man, I like the Viking Raiders. I've liked them since they were before the Viking Raiders, and we were experiencing Vikings, and they were. Is
that what I kept calling them? I kept calling them the Viking Raiders.
Oh, we're so used to that. Yeah, they're back.
I know. So War Raiders. God damn it! See, look at. Thanks, Rob.
Viking Raiders, Viking Experience, War Raiders, War Machine. War Machine was their pre-WWE name, which I think most of us know them by, but so I mean, it was cool to see them on a big stage coming out in the Clash of Clans cosplay, which I think probably went over a lot of people's heads, which is fine because I know, not you, but I'm sure it did go over a lot of people's heads, obviously except Paul. I thought the match was good. I do agree with Paul that the finish was a little weird, but at the same time, I think it was important for New Day to win this because they needed something. Because why are you going to turn them heel and just have them lose all the damn time? It wouldn't make no sense. So I mean, I guess it was the right call, but it was kind of weird.
Daniel, your thoughts on the Viking Raiders and the New Day? I'm sorry, the War Raiders. I keep doing it myself. The War Raiders against the New Day. Go ahead.
Kill me, Maggle.
Sorry.
Match placement matters. You had that explosive beginning with Jay, and crowd was hyped, and then this didn't. It was just. I mean, it was a great match, but I would liken it to Mania 30 when the women's match went on after Undertaker versus Brock.
Oh Lord!
And the crowd was just
yikes.
Well, I mean, you have such a shock and awe moment, and then you follow with this Divas multi-woman match, and then it's just like, okay, fine, whatever. And then you get after that. But yeah, it's a tough call. And like you mentioned with the Viking Raiders, much like Rob said, with War Raiders, Viking Experience, the team of many names.
The Experience.
The Experience. I remember watching War Machine. One of my favorite feuds in Ring of Honor was them against Shane Taylor and Keith Lee, which was a great tag team. You know I got to go with Shane Taylor. And Keith. Oh, my God. These two behemoths. Can't say it any better.
Big meaty men.
Big meaty men slapping meat. But the matches that they've had, I enjoyed this. Like you mentioned, the finish was a little wonky. But before we get to Jay and Gunther, I have to, like we mentioned, we talked about Naomi and Jade Cargill. They were tag team partners last year. They're opponents this year. Naomi has been killing it with the psycho promos. They'll proceed with caution. She hits the X Factor on the outside of the ring. She counters into a bulldog off the top rope, the split-legged moonsault. Jade catches her and hits a jackhammer. And probably one of the damnedest things I've ever seen. She gets her up in the electric chair and turns into a variation of the Dr. Death Steve Williams Dr. Bomb and then hits the Jada for the 1-2-3. For Jade's first come-out match at WrestleMania, getting that victory, that revenge after the attack in the parking lot, made sense. There's a part of me I did, and I've said this, I wanted Naomi to go over to continue it, but I was fine with the finish because it enhanced the fact that Jade gets her revenge on Naomi. And I will start with Daniel on this. What were your thoughts on Jade Cargill and Naomi?
Honestly, I think it was Jade's best match.
Yep.
Probably ever.
Yeah.
Which,
Nah.
It was fun. I think it was her. You can tell that Jade has been trying to improve. Which, if Naomi can't get a good match out of you, like she's another one like Natalya who is highly criminally underrated, and I don't think this is done. I think it's gonna continue. I fully expect Naomi to get involved in Bianca's match tomorrow. Well, today now. I fully expect that to happen.
Now, Paul, what were your thoughts on Jade Cargill and Naomi?
It was a better match than what I thought it was going to be. I mean, and quite frankly, I was very impressed with what Jade did in that ring. In the match in general, they told a story. You allowed them to go out there and tell it in what they were wrestling. Every bit of the angst that Naomi had for Jade. I mean, she literally was, I'll use your term, mollywopped her. Mollywopped her literally in the beginning of the match. It was pretty much all Naomi. Jade finally came back, got her offensive, and before we knew it, it was them going back and forth, and Jade picked up the win. And I thought it was, with, like you just said, pretty much Jade's best match. It shows how much she improved from when she got to WWE.
And also, Mollywop is Anthony Bowens' new name of his finisher, which makes me like Anthony Bowens even more. Robert Davis, your thoughts on Jade Cargill and Naomi? Hit me.
I thought it was a pretty solid match. This new presentation of Naomi is great. She's just totally embracing it, stepped into it. The new theme is pretty badass. The presentation, the gear, the attitude, everything was on point. I'm in agreement with you that I don't think this is done, DC. I think we're going to continue this for a bit. There's definitely more of a story to tell. I think Naomi's going to, kind of go off the rails and kind of maybe embrace a little more insanity, which I think would be great. She has some killer offense in this match. Like like you guys said, the whole beginning half of the match was all Naomi, and just, you got to see a lot of her skill that I think often got overlooked on, in WWE. We did see her wrestle a lot more during her TNA run, which was glorious. It was a fantastic run. So I think if this was the necessary path for her to take to bring some of Trinity into the Naomi character, I'm here for it. I think it's going to be good.
I want to follow up on the presentation talk that Robert mentioned. This woman started out on season 3 of NXT, goes to being a funkadactyl, Then she turns heel with the initial run with Team Bad with her, Tamina, and Sasha Banks. And then she develops the Glow attire and the Glow persona. And she's really worked her butt off these last 10 plus years. And then the TNA run really enhanced her, especially after leaving WWE in 2022. I really thought that Naomi, this is the best run that she's had because it gets her to really step out of the comfort zone and really embrace the psychotic vibes and the heel vibes to it. So I think it worked perfectly. And speaking of
I
everything,
was gonna say shout out to Pop McAfee for actually bringing up that she was a funkadactyl.
yes, I heard that. I popped.
And I agree with Rob, man. That new theme is off the hook. I love the new rock theme for her, and it's different.
Yeah.
Whew. Speaking of something that was a feel good for us, we'll go back to the beginning before we get to the rest of these matches. Y'all got to do it with me. We doing it up and down because it was the right call. Jey Uso beats Gunther for the World's Heavyweight Championship. Oh,
And
now
just as an aside, the commentary team, Wade Barrett being part, just being like, nope,
nope, not doing it.
just shook his hand, just like that's it.
Yeah, that's it. This match was a roller coaster ride of emotions. Jay's welts on his chest, the chops, the kicks, the power bombs, the splashes, the shot with the title when the ref and got him out of the way to hit the title in the splash for a near fall. These men absolutely, and I'll say the term again, they absolutely mollywopped each other, and that made for the beautiful, strong style that we got. Both these men wrestled stiff. They wrestled hard. It was grit. They're both going to be tired after this, and they're going to be taking some ice baths and whatnot. I think Jay hitting the splashes, especially on the back, the end sequence, the multiple spears, the multiple splashes, and then getting Gunther in his own submission move, the sleeper hold, and then Gunther taps out from all of these pain and everything that he was hit with, but the kitchen sink. It was a beautiful ending for Jey Uso to finally win that World's Heavyweight Championship, finally beat Gunther after having that 0-3 streak with him. This, from top to bottom, was just a hell of a way to start the show, and it got the crowd hyped, and everybody was yeeting till they can't yeet no more. So, Robert Davis, I'll start with you. Jey Uso and Gunther, new champ. Yeet!
Absolutely the right call. And me and Teddy were actually talking about this in the Discord while we were watching it. Just like we were so invested that we didn't know which way this was going to go. We're just like, damn, is Gunther really going to do this? Nah, Jay's got to do this. But Gunther just hit this spot. But yeah, but this is Jay. There was a lot of investment in the match. Now, could this feud have been built a little bit better? Sure. Did they give it the old college try by beating the crap out of Jimmy and with the blood and all that? Absolutely. I think that was the right call as well. But Jay winning was the only answer to this, because if he didn't, this was all for nothing. And Tony Khan is waiting for you, Jay. Had he not won, but I think this was a pretty solid match. This doesn't hurt Gunther at all, because I've already seen the discourse, blah blah blah, this blah 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 that. Shut up, nerds.
Shut the fuck up.
It doesn't do anything. Jay's the man right now. Let him have his moment.
Daniel.
DC.
To kind of continue off what Rob said, people said the same thing when Gunther lost to Sammy last year.
Right.
Now they said, "Oh, he's done. He's washed up. To this, to that." And Gunther had a good run. Well, let's not act like they booked Gunther's world title reign very well, because they haven't. With the exception of like the last couple of weeks, this run's been meh at best. Now, having said that, it was the right call for Jay to win. The crowd was super behind him. Although I do wonder how long it's going to be before the crowd turns on him, like they do to every face champion that has ever existed.
Because they're fickle.
Fickle. No, it was the right call. We got the feel good moment with Jimmy coming down in the ring. We got the embrace.
Low key, I thought Jimmy was going to turn on him.
There's a part of me, I'm like, don't do it.
I'm like, come on, Cribs. I'm like, no.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
I was even expecting like Solo or somebody. Like, it wouldn't have shocked me. In fact, if this was Vince, that's probably what would have happened.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Oh,
what.
believe me, if it were Vince, believe me, that would have been the first thing that he would have did, and had Jimmy come out and turn on him. So
Should have go down there
try.
and kick your brother in the nuts.
God damn it, kick him in the
oh
face.
my god, that would
That's
have
such
been
good shit.
that would have been horrible.
It's funny because shout out to Papa Lark. Papa Lark, we were watching that, and my mom, all three of us were like, please don't kick him, please don't. And Dad, and he's like, no, this is the Triple H era. He's like, if this was the Vince McMahon era, he probably would have done it. I'm like, you're damn right, he would have. Kick him in the face, god damn it.
Yeah, see, shout out to your pops,
Shout
man,
out to
because
Papa
you know
Lark.
what? Because you
Papa
know
Lark
what?
knows.
He knew.
He knows.
Put the ones up for Papa Lark.
Yeah, put the ones
Papa
up.
Lark,
Papa
we love
Lark.
you. Now
We acknowledge you.
we do. And Paul, go ahead. Your thoughts, Jay Gunther, go.
I think on our predictions, one of the things that I said was, please, for God's sakes, do not do what you did with Cody and then have him lose and then try and bring him back the following WrestleMania to try and put him in a position to win again. Look, I would have loved for this to co-main event tonight rather than it kick off the show. I would have rather it been co-main event. At least he would have been main event Jey Uso. Kind of goes along with, his name, moniker. You give it to him, you might as well just. If he was the right-hand man, that would be completely different, but he's not. He's main event Jey Uso. So, but other than that, dude, you can see the drama in the match. We could feel it with every little chop. Oh my god, my wife was like, god damn, you see his chest, it's red, it's like beet red. I said, well, you can't really tell because he's kind of dark, but hey, I got it. But man, they went out there, they shelled out, they did what they did their damn thing and literally laid it all out there. Shout out to Gunther, praise that man for working with Jay, and the fact that Jay choked him out, the fact that Jay made him tap, that was poetic justice.
I don't know if Gunther's ever, certainly, I mean, since WWE's only lost like 3 or 4 times.
Being in WWE, we'll even go to NXT UK. I mean, he's had that the bangers of a match with
Ilya.
Ilya Dragunov,
Tyler Bate, Joe
Pete
Coffey.
Dunne, Tyler Bate,
Joe Coffey.
God dang, Joe Coffey, God,
Joe Coffey.
Oh my goodness. What was the other guy from Mustache Mountain? The one that's not
Trent Seven.
Yeah, Trent Seven. He's had matches with him, and oh my god, even when he was in Progress, I don't remember him ever being tapped out, even for as long as I can remember, even when he was an NXT Intercontinental Champion, none of that. I don't remember him ever being tapped out. So
he's probably lost like 10 times since he's been in WWE.
Yeah, literally.
3. He lost to Braun. He lost.
Go back. I want to go NXT UK because the only person that beat him was Ilya.
Yeah,
that was it.
And that's the one that dethroned him for that title. And then of course we get, who was the last champion? Anyway, then that doesn't matter who the last champion was. Yeah. So the fact is that he went through all that time, came to WWE, had the Intercontinental title for 666 days, which you remember 666. Obviously, we're not going to forget that. And then he had this title reign of over 250 days. So he's been champion literally longer than I think he's been champion in WWE longer than Roman Reigns combined.
Oh yeah.
Combined championships.
You combine all his reigns, that's about 1,600 days, 1,670, something like that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, we're talking, literally his whole time that he's been in WWE.
I mean, the NXT UK run. I mean, a lot of that time was COVID.
Hey.
I know.
But he still
counts.
did matches. It doesn't matter. Even during COVID, he still did matches.
Hell yeah.
As a fan, I'm curious to see where they go with him. Like, you could have him, start to get a little unhinged because, he tapped out. You could go that route.
Do we have him and Kaiser? Do we end up with him and Kaiser in a feud?
I
Where
like that.
where you we got okay. So let's take kind of a step back and where do we believe that Gunther should go next? I need y'all opinions.
I mean, the Kaiser feud
on vacation.
On vacation. Well, yeah, that taking some time off. Okay.
Yeah, because him and his wife just had a baby, didn't they?
Yeah,
He's about a year old.
Yeah, give him some time off. Well deserved time off. Spend it with his family. I mean,
Absolutely.
we are in the Triple H era where you can go spend time with your family if you want to.
God damn it, we need you. No.
Shut up.
So what we do need more is of WrestleMania. Boy, did we get more in our next matchup. As for the United States Championship, it was L.A. Knight. Yeah. Defending against Jacob Fatu. And man, I didn't care the outcome because I like both of these gentlemen. These two went hard in the paint. We saw swanton bombs. We saw elbow drops. We saw a German off the top rope. We saw everything but the kitchen sink. These two had such great chemistry. The pop-up Samoan drops, the hip-hop attacks in the corner. This man, Jacob Fatu, did a moonsault, and it got countered into a BFT. And that did not do it because of the ring awareness of Jacob Fatu. Then Jacob Fatu absolutely mollywops LA Knight, multiple moonsaults and everything galore. And Jacob Fatu is the new WWE United States Championship, his first championship on the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania. I love this. I want to see more from this. I want to see more of the interaction with Solo. And much like we mentioned with Gunther, this does not hurt LA Knight at all because he's so over with the crowd. Woo! Jacob Fatu.
The crowd loved Fatu. Crowd is all about him. You talk about people that just have it. Whatever promotion you're talking about. Every promotion has those guys that just have that, that it factor. Jacob Fatu has it. Did I think they were going to go that route? No. I kind of thought Solo was going to come out and cost Jacob the match, maybe DQ or whatever. And we were going to get the turn that way. Now, maybe we kind of get an evolution kind of thing where Solo demands that Jacob hand him the U.S. title or lay down for him, and then we get the turn.
I mean, there's so many different ways that they can go with it. I mean, Jacob Fatu was the heel, but man, he's developed into such a babyface. Like you mentioned, crowd loves him, people love him. He's just that badass that we love to see. Just go out there, take names. The man says, "Nah, I mean." He's very hood. He's very blunt. I mean. He's very blunt. He's very honest, and he's very raw and authentic. That makes it.
I'm gonna say it now. He is this generation's Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay, that's a very broad comparison. I like that. Very badass.
He's that guy who you could imagine sitting down, having a drink with, or just chilling with, talking to, and he gets it.
It'll probably be some Hennessy, and
just don't piss him off because he'll dog walk your ass.
So we will go to Paul next. Your thoughts on Jacob Fatu and LA Knight new?
Yeah.
King Kong and Godzilla.
What I want to know is how this dude did a swanton when LA Knight was on the damn rope.
Right? Dude, that friggin' senton on the back. I was like, what the fuck?
The senton that he did on him when he was on the damn rope. And I'm like, ow, what the fuck? Dude.
Mans is almost 300 pounds, but
and we go back to what we said, what we were talking about, the natural disasters in the Hall of Fame, how great John Tenta was as a big man. We can say we literally just said a while ago that this generation is pretty much the same thing. You could see the trickle down from those big guys. And Jacob Fatu is literally he is literally to the end one of the best freaking ring workers that WWE has. 1,000. We knew that in MLW. We knew that before he even touched foot in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he's here and doing it and dog walking everybody's asses the way he is, man, I'm here for it. This reign, I hope, goes for a while.
So, the first thing I said when he won the belt, I said, "Ain't nobody taking that belt."
No. Oh, I mean, I love the feud now we can get with LA Knight and the Chase to get it back after his second run comes at a short time, much like his first one. But damn it, dude, like I am loving me some Jacob Fatu. Robert, I know you concur, like all of us, like this is the time. They made the right call. I had said previously, okay, maybe they do the Chase with Jacob Fatu. It doesn't hurt if he loses, but they made the right call because you hear the crowd, you hear everything. This was the right decision to have Jacob Fatu win.
Hell yeah, and he's off the leash
Oh, yeah.
now.
Off the leash.
I
Yeah,
think
and I had predicted that maybe Solo was going to end up coming in trying to help him and would end up costing him the match. But you know what? Him going over, it was perfect. I thought it was excellent, the fact that he went over.
The best way to describe it is like the Gorillas. Finally, someone let him out of his cage, Clint Eastwood style. So, with that being said,
I think the last point I think that needs to get made. Had they had LA Knight go over, the crowd would have immediately turned on him.
oh, I could concur with that absolutely.
Because Jacob is so over. Like Rob said, Jacob is just, and he's organically over. Organically to the point to where people are just literally looking at what he does and are like, wow, amazed. Same way they are with Bronson Reed. You know, you see that man bounce off the ropes and do the things that he does, and it's like, wow. Give me that match. Give me him and Bronson Reed. Oh my God, that would freaking bang.
I am down for it. And speaking of something I was down for, so I'll let Rob go first because in our chat, Robert was not happy with the ending of this match. And I think it was because the original Ray that was in this match was supposed to lose. And it doesn't hurt Phoenix at all because it continues to chase. And he got screwed because of that damn metal plate in his mask. It was El Grande Americano against Ray Phoenix. And Ray Phoenix's first ever WrestleMania match. Let me just say this right now. This man came out to mariachi. He came out with the mariachi band, El Grande Americano. I about lost it. Owen Hart was not the Blue Blazer. El Grande Americano was not Chad Gable. This match was on point. We saw Northern Light suplexes. We saw Lucha at its finest. We saw Chad Gable do a moonsault into like a backflip senton. I felt like I was watching Jack Evans in Ring of Honor. Mm-hmm. This was one of those things that was just absolutely, for such a short period of time that they went out there and absolutely mollywopped. I'll say it again and be repetitious. Mollywopped each other, and it was great. And we saw the metal plate be used. Ray Phoenix went for his kick off the ropes, and then boom, sprained the ankle. Then the headbutt and the diving headbutt for the 1, 2, 3. El Grande Americano is 1-0 at WrestleMania. For what it was, I enjoyed it. I look forward to more matches with him and Gable. The Vikingo spot at the beginning where he shoved Vikingo and Vikingo kicked him right in the mush. For what they did, I thought it was spectacular, man. But I'll let Rob go first because that boy Ray Phoenix took the L at WrestleMania, which the original Ray was supposed to. But they went with the same thing with Ray Phoenix, and it continues more of the El Grande Americano storyline. Go ahead, Roberto. Take it away.
Yeah, you know what? For what this match was, it was very good. Very happy for Phoenix to kind of get the call up to have his first WrestleMania match, and I think that was very cool for him. Overall, this match was pretty solid. It's the one thing that just kind of face-palmed me was, they announced him from the Gulf of America. I'm just
it's like, well, even Pat was like, Alicia, did you not get the memo that he's from the Gulf of Mexico?
Yeah, like, I mean, there's a lot going on in the world right now, and we probably don't need to get into that here, but
no,
it just
At least it rubbed us both the wrong way. I was just like, you literally just said this past Monday that he was from the Gulf of Mexico.
Yes.
And then they said it on social media and rephrased it again to say that he was from the Gulf of Mexico. So the fact that they said he was from the Gulf of America, yeah, that just,
it's like Alicia. Alicia, what are you doing, Alicia?
Dude, she did an excellent job. She was great.
She did great. She did good. But I mean, this whole El Grande Americano, I'm not the biggest fan of it.
No,
but for what it's worth, if there's a payoff somewhere down the line, I just hope it's worth it.
I will say I am still happy that Chad Gable got his first. I'm not Chad Gable. El Grande Americano got his first WrestleMania match 1-on-1. Paul, take it away. Your thoughts on Rey Fenix against El Grande Americano?
For the time that they had, I would love for both of them to do more wrestling moves.
Right.
And I would have loved for them to do more lucha wrestling moves. And they did for the most part. And I loved it. I really, really did. I thought it was really, really exciting, very fast paced, except for the slow down when, he put that damn freaking metal piece in his mask, and then ended up kicking him in the face and hurting his foot. Then I don't know, when he threw up into the corner, I'm like, well, he's not gonna come running out. And what was the first thing that he did? He came running at him, and it was like, dude, weren't you not selling that foot that you just kicked him in the face with that had the metal piece in it?
Yep.
But I digress. The fact is that we got Rey Fenix on a pay-per-view at a WrestleMania against Chad Gable. I mean, El Grande Americano. But still, he went out there and did what Rey Mysterio probably would have done too. So, and did it a hell of a lot better.
I've seen it compared on the internet wrestling community, and I even say it. I could say because I was there, and it's one of my favorite opening matches. This was almost, if you would have had Rey, it would have been the equivalent of Rey and Kurt Angle from SummerSlam 02. I think Chad Gable did this very well, and I think
Michael,
yes,
not Chad Gable.
El Grande Americano.
All right, the Starbucks order, that is El Grande Americano.
Gracias.
Gracias. Go ahead, Daniel. Gracias. All right, Daniel. Your thoughts?
I thought for what it was, I thought it was a really fun match. I got to imagine what's going through Phoenix's mind. It's like he's only been with the company all of like a cup of coffee.
Yeah, only like a few weeks.
And
1 month.
Like, you come into SmackDown thinking, well, you did the Andre Battle Royal and the tag match, and you're done till next week on SmackDown. And you wake up this morning, they're like, hey, just so you know, you're going to be on WrestleMania. Like, the nerves that he must have been feeling. Like,
right.
I have no doubt that boy had butterflies in his stomach, and I can imagine what Penta's going to be like tomorrow, because I'm pretty sure I know he's the older brother, but still, this is WrestleMania. This isn't an AEW show. This is WrestleMania, and look at the amount of people that your brother just did the day before. So have no doubt that dude had butterflies. He was pooping butterflies for all we know.
I hope Penta struts that entire fucking ramp.
Dude, me too.
That would be awesome.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of awesome, and I'm going to let Daniel take this matchup next, because I think our boy DC, and as we know on both of our shows, Kicking It with the TSK, the weekly review, Uncaged, everything that we all do together on this fine YouTube channel. Y'all, Daniel Crimmins was about to rage, and he wasn't in a cage, and he was not going to do the Wrestle Rock Rumble. So in the semi-main event of AWA, Moses Marquez, hello. And with WrestleMania 41 Night 1.
Rob's just like sitting there oblivious. Dude, you really have to go listen to it, because it was some of the funniest shit that we did.
So to put everything in perspective, since we are doing this live, Moses and Paul did a show called The Retro Rewind, and they had Moses watch. Was it AWA Super Clash or one of those things from the 80s?
Yeah, it was like Super Clash or something like that.
And Amir and Mo were bored as fuck watching that because of the style of the 80s and the slow pace of Vern Gagne and Greg Gagne and everybody from the 80s. Oh, don't put that around the Doctor or Moses Marquez.
Mm-hmm. The AWA is special though.
It is very much.
You had Scott Hall with his mustache,
and him.
Shawn Michaels when he still had
Iron Sheik,
the Midnight Rockers. Yeah, I mean Iron Sheik, Sergeant Slaughter.
Everybody. Oh my God, No, with the man that just went into the Hall of Fame, Ivan Koloff.
Yes, Ivan Koloff. That's right. Okay, but
I had just told them this past week that when we were talking about our predictions and we were talking about him going into the Hall of Fame. So I think it was 89 or 90.
Yep.
I went to a show with my grandfather who lived in Vegas. We went to the Showboat Hotel and Casino and took me to I had went to 3 AWA shows that were there, and Ivan Koloff was there. He wrestled, came by us because we were sitting by the aisle, and dude was the nicest guy. Very, very nice, very, very polite. Talked a little bit of wrestling. 11-year-old me was just sitting there like, yeah, hey, hey, hey. I know who you are, but let's talk a little bit of wrestling. So yeah, that was me.
Speaking of a little bit of wrestling, semi-main, I'll let Dan start because he would have raged if this would have happened. Tiffany Stratton defended against Charlotte. Thank Jesus that Tiffany Stratton retained that women's championship. This match, I'll let you go first, Dan, and then we'll all take it away. Go ahead, Dan, because I know you were going to rage.
I had some serious fears that this was going to be WrestleMania 36 all over again. Oof. You know, there were times where it's like, oh God, they're gonna make sure they're gonna have Charlotte go over. They're gonna do it. And if y'all haven't seen it, Rob knows the rant. The rant that left TSK speechless. Oh. Just basically like, what more is there to say? But I do think that if this was still the Vince McMahon era, Charlotte would have gone over, guaranteed.
Oh yeah.
I thought the match was very well done. The back and the forth, the false finishes, and to see Tiffany go over in not only her first WrestleMania, but she went into WrestleMania as a champion. And she absolutely killed it. You know, she is the next big thing as far as, you know, women's wrestling in WWE. She is it. She has it. You know, we talk about people like Jacob Fatu that just have gotten over so organically with the crowd. She was never supposed to turn face.
No, she was a natural heel.
But people fell in love with the work ethic that she has put in. Like, she is somebody that has busted her ass from NXT, has gone to the Performance Center, and I guarantee Kaiser has given her tips because, you know, he's a second-generation star, and he's giving her tips.
I want to see how long it would take you to grab that one.
That's what she said.
Giggity.
But I thought, you know, this was her crowning moment. You know, she had that entrance was pretty darn cool, honestly.
The Barbie entrance, yeah.
And seeing Pat be like, she was on the one in the middle?
Look at Pat McAfee. Let him be the one to actually say something dumb.
Can we? I just want Adam Cole just to show up in the crowd and just say, "Shut up, Pat!
Shut up, Pat!" Oh, but yeah, I am in agreement with you. I think with what they did and the false, they were stiffing the crap out of each other, but the slaps, working over the legs, oof, the Alabama slam into the corner, the Finley rolls, going for the PME, the supernatural selection from Charlotte that left her face plant right into the ring, then the PME for the win. I think they both worked their butts off, and the right call was made to have Tiffany go over. This continues the feud. Also, if you saw at the end, there was a little nod and show of respect from Charlotte to Tiffany. So I think everything for the story that they were telling worked, and the right call was made to have Tiffany, the younger, go after and beat Charlotte. So I'm in agreement with Dan. So, Paul, hit me.
You know, we never say that Charlotte is one of those people that will want to put somebody over.
Right. I mean, she put Rhea.
You know, we don't give her enough credit. And I know a lot of people that don't really like her, that do like her, whatever, you know, that they don't say, hey, that she's one of those people that would put somebody over for the sake of the company. But what Charlotte did tonight was literally what she did. She put somebody over, and in typical Charlotte fashion, they went out there and beat the shit out of each other. You could see freaking Tiffany had a bloody lip. I think she busted it open.
Oh yeah,
I think it was like a headbutt or an elbow. I think that she took.
I think she might have
Where
lost
she did,
the tooth in the
huh?
process. I think she might have lost the tooth in the process.
Oh, I don't know. I just know that she got hit. I think it was from a back elbow that she took.
Yeah, she has a chipped tooth.
Oh god dang that. But still, the fact that Charlotte they put on a really really good match. It exceeded my expectations. I thought they were just going to go out there, and I think I predicted that Charlotte was going to win. Sorry, my bad. But Tiffany was the right choice to go over. I have to remember we're not in the Vince McMahon era.
Yeah,
We're in the Paul Levesque era, so the fact that it happened that way and she went over, it was a great call. And
it is
kudos to both of them for going out there. I didn't get to see the nod, but nod to them both because they did the damn thing out there.
I think in a term of like you mentioned the nod, and we are stuck in the Vince McMahon era because we all were thinking it's like, okay, it's WrestleMania 36 all over again. But I think a lot of us, and even some of our wrestling fans, even the discourse on the IWC, we all still have our memories and our not so very fond memories of the Vince McMahon era and those decisions. And well, the decision was made for Tiffany to go over. So I'll hand it over to Robert Davis, Tiffany and Charlotte. What were your thoughts?
I was happy to see Tiffany win. I was going to probably lose my, similar in a DC fashion, if she didn't. They did work pretty stiff. Tiff's pretty banged up. That welt on her head was probably terrible right now. She got a big bruise on her shoulder, a chipped tooth, busted lip.
Thank you. And now it looked like she had like a little welt right here on her side.
Yeah,
her shoulder looked like it was pretty black and blue.
Yeah, it's pretty black and blue too. So she worked pretty stiff, and she seemed to have gotten through it. So that was really cool to see. Before I deleted my Twitter a couple of days ago, I saw something online where somebody had brought up, the situation with Charlotte and Becky when they were trading their belts. Charlotte and Nia Jax and their miscommunication, and now Charlotte kind of going off the rails with this unscripted promo with Tiffany that I happen to watch back, and it's just kind of like, fuck are you doing?
Right.
And obviously the point of the tweet was the common denominator, and Charlotte deserves the heat that she gets because she's a veteran. She shouldn't be doing that shit. So I was happy to see her lose. And she can fuck off. So
she can fuck to the left, fuck to the right, spin around, go fuck yourself tonight.
I think the one thing you could definitely tell that, honestly, I think you can tell two of them don't like each other. Like, I think that is very clear. And like Rob said, what's the common denominator here?
Charlotte Flair.
I mean, Becky did an interview where she said that, she said, me and Charlotte, she said, we're not close. We're not really, because she's like, she saw me coming up, and yeah.
I mean, they're better now than they were back in the day.
Are they?
I think they'll work together. I think that's the main thing. That's what you have to do, is you have to do business with one another, even if you don't like them. That's the main thing I'm going to say there. Hi. Go ahead.
You can't cry them a river.
Oh,
you don't know me.
You do know me. God. Fucking it's so bad.
It just, if you look at the match in general, and you can kind of decipher where the stiff shots were coming from, where a lot of the harder hits were at.
when Charlotte yelled, "Come on, bitch!" That
was clear as day, and I had it on.
That felt personal.
I had it on surround sound, dude, and you could hear that thing clear as day.
And the F-bombs.
And the
F-bombs. Oh my god, that was hilarious. But can
we just get our truth just to say, I don't think that's PG.
Spicy.
That would be funny, dude. But it was a overall, it was a better match than what I thought they were going to have. So I'm happy for it, and I'm also happy with the outcome. The fact that Tiffany went over, and we can all agree if this were Vince, it would have been Charlotte, and she would have been a 15-time world women's champion. So
She'd be a 37-time champion by now if it was still Vince.
oh yeah, she would have she would have went past her dad years ago.
And probably had the men's world title by now.
Yeah, she would have been the second woman to hold the Intercontinental title.
Now I look at it like this. I mean, we're going to talk about F-bombs here because there was a clear F-bomb
Fuck.
with a middle finger and a sharpshooter in our main event here because, good God, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk. And I'm going to say it just because I'm a nostalgia guy. I popped when Kill Switch engages, this fire burns, his music hit. And CM Punk literally quoted word for word his first 2006 promo on ECW back in 2006. And then we got to see his rise from the straight edge superstar to where he is now. And they showed his career. And I know it's a big moment. And he got the living color performance, which I enjoyed. And he had the hood that he wore with Paul Heyman when he wrestled The Undertaker at WrestleMania 29 back in 2013. So they added those little nostalgia elements. From top to bottom, this was just a great story of these guys beating the crap out of each other. Roman Reigns' dive into the crowd. How Punk and Rollins are beating the crap out of each other with the garbage cans and chairs. The Roman Reigns moment of, okay, we're going to see if we're going to do a Shield powerbomb, and Seth talking to him, you don't got Mox anymore, you don't got me, you don't got the bloodline, let's do this, let's take him out. And then Roman hits him, and then they powerbombs them both through the Spanish announce table and the Michael Cole, Pat McAfee announce table. Everything from this match fit perfectly. And then we got to the point that we needed, the GTSs, the curb stomps, the spears. Every man is down in the ring. Paul Heyman grabs a chair. What's he going to do? CM Punk and Roman Reigns are looking at him, hands it to CM Punk, and he's crying. And then it's like, okay, he sided with him. Then he kicks and he hits the friggin' right hand right to the ding-ding of CM Punk. And he says, look what you made me do, my tribal chief. He's my tribal chief. And then he hands Roman the chair, and he beats CM Punk with the chair like he stole something. And then Seth Rollins is up to his feet. He goes, my tribal chief. The Shield, remember the Shield. And then Paul Heyman low blows the tribal chief, and everybody's in shock. And my mom looked like she wanted to cry. Hi, Mom. And then we got to Seth Rollins.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Then we got to Seth Rollins getting the chair from Paul Heyman, just rested in the corner. Hits Roman in the chair like it's 2014 in the back with that chair. The curb stomp, 1, 2, 3, much like 10 years ago when he beat Roman in that triple threat match to win the title. Curb stomp, 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins is now a Paul Heyman guy. We've said this. We've called this. Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins are working together, and Seth Rollins gets the victory. Roman and CM Punk are looking distraught as we go off the air. Oh, my God, what an emotional roller coaster of a ride this main event was. And I will start it off with Paul for this one. Seth, Roman, Punk, go.
This was literally a fucking long ass roller coaster ride. Like, it was like you had ups, downs, curves, turns, curb stomps, GTSs, spears. I mean, like, at every damn turn, every twist and turn you can find in a damn wrestling match, we got it here. I didn't get to say this when we did our predictions. I wish this would have been like a number one contenders match, but I understand why it wasn't as soon as we got that turn. As soon as we got Paul Heyman to turn and we got to see him, one, give the chair to CM Punk, and then low blow, give the chair to this tribal chief, my tribal chief. Boom, gave it to him too. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe I said that he was going to turn, and I believe I said that he was going to side with Seth. But that's not what I. Who the hell did I pick? I even forgot who the hell I picked.
Seth on that show.
I did pick Seth, didn't I? God damn it! You know what? No.
Okay, Barry Horowitz.
All right, Barry Horowitz's pet.
Fuck you guys. No, but dude, we got the turn that we all kind of foresaw coming, and it was excellent. It told the story of all the angst that all these guys went through to get to here. It told a perfect story as best as possible, as close to perfect as it was, but man, it was everything I expected to get from the main event of night one of WrestleMania.
Dan, hit it.
I thought it was very well done. I'm surprised you didn't touch on. To me, it was one of my favorite spots. The spear into the pedigree.
Oh my god.
Oh, that was fucking perfect, flawless.
Dive.
He hit him. He got it good.
He did. And to me, that kind of reminded me of that fucking amazing spot from, I think it was like not 2009 or 10. The Evan Bourne shooting star press into the RKO.
Yes.
Ooh, yes.
Ooh. Just caught him. Yes.
Or the RKO between Seth and Randy from Mania 31.
Yes. Okay. And I mean,
It was just, the timing was just phenomenal. I mean, he didn't have time to hook the arms. That's fine. But just, so well done.
Can we give a shout out to Shelton Benjamin for taking that super kick from Shawn Michaels?
Oh god, that too from 2005.
Because that was perfect. That was beyond perfect. He took it right at the same time he stuck his foot up.
I mean, this is a spot that they've done before, but how they did this here was with precision. And every spot was just perfect because it fit the narrative and it fit the story. And I mean, you guys said it perfectly. We're all in agreement on here, but Roberto, we're going to give you on this, man. Seth Roman Punk, and let's point this out because, ladies and gentlemen, we know how you feel about the punker, Mr. Robert Davis. You know, we're just going to choke somebody a little bit. And I always have to say that to you because I love teasing you about it. But I have to say this to you, Roberto Davis, mi amigo. You were very happy that CM Punk, you were very adamant, then very happy that CM Punk did not win this match. So go ahead.
Because not only did I put it in our chat, I put it in the TSK chat as well.
Yes.
This match was an 8 out of 10, and it's only those -2 points because CM Punk was in the match. But no, this was done. This was done very well. If you are a fan of storytelling wrestling, this was the match.
Dear Tony Khan,
keep doing what you're doing.
This is how you tell a story.
We don't watch AEW for the stories. Well, I don't.
Very true. Very true.
I don't watch AEW for the stories.
I'll pay you.
But if you're a fan of storytelling wrestling, this was a superb match.
Yeah.
And
that was the rib.
And for all the discourse of this is not a main event. Yeah, it was a main event. It told a pretty compelling story that's probably going to continue for a couple more months now, thanks to Paul Heyman. So, yeah, really, like I said, 8 out of 10, no notes. Good job.
You know, I do think though you should have had like people. I saw it too. People saying, "Well, why wasn't the world title should always close me?" There have been plenty of times where WrestleMania was not main evented by a world title match. WrestleMania 1.
Yep. Last year,
WrestleMania 8. You know, it's happened multiple times.
I mean, do we even dare so at WrestleMania 35 with Seth and Brock because Brock wanted to leave early? So, I mean, hey, that opened that in 2019. Seth and Drew last year. It happened, y'all. And I mean, with everything that happened tonight, this was a great way to start off night one and a great weekend of professional wrestling as we move on tonight to tomorrow, which we will be back for. Which opening it is going to be Io, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley, which I think is going to be great. You start off hot and then you end hot again like we did tonight with Cody Rhodes and John Cena. So it's going to be a hell of a night too. And y'all, I got to say this first and foremost, this is our first live. We hope you enjoy this. We're going to do more of these in the future. And I hope you guys continue to subscribe to the channel. We're up to 1.2223, something like that. Let's continue to grow this channel for the S&M Network shows. This is a part of the M, which is me. And you can check Steve and I out doing our things. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Hi.
Hi, Steve.
Not ICP. Not ICP.
Not ICP. And, of course, the weekly review, the Uncages, the Deep Into the Heart of Wrestling. We're going to be back with so much more and the On the Mic with Mike with the Lingerie Fighting Championship podcast as well. Y'all, man, I appreciate y'all coming on. And Rob, thank you as well coming on with us during this. I wanted to check it out. Mwah. Too sweet to each and one of y'all. Before we close this out, I will let everybody do their socials. Now, Rob, I'm going to let you go first here, man, because Deep Into the Heart of Wrestling and your account are off on the Twitter, because fuck you, Elon. But also at the same time, too, where can we follow Deep Into the Heart of Wrestling, your stuff? Go ahead, Roberto. Take it away.
So we got Deep Into the Heart of Wrestling with Mike, myself, and my sister, the Demoness, Nicola McDonald. Hello, sister. You can follow us on Linktree/BlackHeartsEBD3. That'll take you over to Mike's page where we've got all of our shows there. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're not on Twitter anymore because we don't. If you know, you know. We'll be a Blue Sky should be up in a couple of days. We are still on TikTok, if that's even still a thing. I hear it is, but I don't know what's going on with that thing anymore. But we also got over on the Max Wrestling YouTube, kicking it with the TSK with myself, Mr. DC, Moses, and the OG Herald, with Mike making appearances every once in a while over on the Max Wrestling YouTube page. Linktree/KITW TSK1. You can find all of our stuff there. For me, myself, you can find me at Linktree/Hey, I'm Rob. You can find all of my socials there. We just recently started getting back into some music content over on my YouTube page, which you can find at my Linktree. So go check it out.
All righty. Paul Morales, take it away, sir.
You could see the name right there, the Dead Man of RWT. Of course, you could find me on X because apparently I'm still there. Sorry, Rob. I'm still on Twitter. You could go to my bio. My link tree is there. Still at the Dead Man of RWT. You can find all my social medias, Blue Sky, TikTok, my YouTube page where I'm starting to upload a lot more of our stuff that we're doing here in our weekly review. And you can find all my socials there. So Mr. Daniel Crimmins, the man above me, where can we find you at, my brother?
Honda is actually going to be uploading tomorrow. YouTube messed up the whole file, so yeah, that's yeah.
Damn it, YouTube! Curse you, YouTube!
Okay, Dan. Dan Nelson. Okay.
So
Yes.
that's going to be coming tomorrow, and links Michael put, where they need to go. Check us out. Check out all our great shows, which you should already see it, which, again, Michael put the links down below.
Cheap blood. And we did mention, I will say this, because we were talking about Evolution. We mentioned Lay Cool earlier with the Hall
It's a mystery.
Evolution is a mystery. But we mentioned the Evolution pay-per-view. So for Uncaged, our next episode, Dan and I will actually be talking about the Mae Young Classic and the inaugural Evolution pay-per-view, which featured a badass dark match, which is now in the WWE Vault with Rhea Ripley, who was the NXT UK Women's Champion, against Dakota Kai. Shout out to Mommy. And a main event between Ronda Rousey and Nikki Bella. And, of course, Charlotte and Becky. So we're going to take a deep dive into that. And Rob and I and Nicola will be doing another watch-along. And I look back at AJ Styles versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. Say we Tanahashi! From TNA Final Resolution 06. More weekly review, y'all. We got everything cooking. We got everything coming. Not that way, but everything is coming and so much and so forth. So with that being said, Paul Morales for Daniel Crimmins for Robert Davis. My name is Mike Larkin. We are closing out night one, our post game. We'll be back tomorrow night. Too sweet. Everybody throw it up like a tip cup. Say what? Boogie.
And we'll pay you.
We'll pay you. We love you. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Pay you.
No Diddy.
No Diddy. Fuckers.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up.
The past is gone. Now's the future.
I was gonna